In this video, we will be targeting Signal Crayfish Diamonds. If this video helps you catch your diamond, please remember to give it a like. Come back and leave a comment and let me know you were successful. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here is my latest catch. Green first fish at 1950 is a bronze. Here's a gold. Another gold. And a diamond. Last fish at 2050. That's 1 hour, 2 golds, 1 diamond. Let's take a quick look at the traits. It is a bottom lurker. However, they are in a shallow river, so it really doesn't matter if we use a float or a feeder. And they are night owls. We are going to fish at night for the bait and lure preferences. Hot dog is the only option for chum, and we are going to use liver to fit on a very large hook so that we don't catch other fish on light gear. The maximum crayfish caught is 1.21 pounds or 0.55 kilograms. For the gear, I recommend any spinning rod that is longer. I like maiden. Don't use the greenhorn. It's too short. The strategy I'm going to show you with half cast, this one does a really nice job. Don't worry about what the max line strength is. Like I said, anything that's longer, this one is almost 8 feet and is a perfect fit. You do want to use the Prologue 2-pound spinning reel for the correct drag. And then you have a choice on line. If you want a really tough fight on a diamond and a high score, use the 1 pound, but I recommend the 2 pound so you don't risk getting snapped off. Again, only if you really need that score for a competition would I use the 1 pound, because it's going to be a little crazy with that light line and poor drag control. You want to use the waggler bobber to move less in the current. I recommend the 4/0 hook so that you don't catch anything else. You don't want anything big like a catfish on this gear. And you want to use liver for bait. And you can see I have 3 identical setups. They don't need to match though, so if you use different rods, that's fine, but you do want the line and the reels to match. For bait feeding, you may want to ignore it, but you can occasionally throw out hot dogs and see if you can attract them. You really only need your hand for that, given it's a very narrow river. I strongly encourage you to start with an evening server start for these. Here is the location we are going to be using, way east of the main outpost, which is over here. Diamond Peak. What I like to do is go up towards this Y in the river at the tight end trailhead, grab a Jeep, drive it down here, and you can see it's right here. It not only gives you a fast travel point, but should you choose to use chum, and I'll talk about that, you can grab another 9 throws as long as you've stocked up your inventory from the back of the Jeep. To catch Signal Crayfish Diamonds, start in an evening server. You want to fish from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. and then restart in a new evening server. For the gear, I recommend 2 float fishing rigs with size 4/0. That is the largest hook you can use, but crayfish bite on any hook size. The reason we're using the large one is to exclude other fish, and we're going to use liver for bait. For the in-hand, we're going to use the same thing, a float fishing rig with size 4/0 and liver. And for bait feeding, either don't use anything or you can occasionally use hot dogs. Now it's time to fish, and we want to use this rock shelf up here where I park the Jeep. And there's a number of reasons for that. It gives us flexibility to cover the river area by running back and forth and putting our rod holders out. Now you see that current is pretty steady. I'm going to grab one of them. Now it doesn't make a whole lot of difference because it's pretty shallow here, what depth you put on the rod holders, but I'm just goofy. I put them down because these are bottom fish, and I do a forward only half cast with this gear. And the reason for that is if you do a max cast, and you notice I opened the bail too so it doesn't snap back, and we can see the line. There is a bug where these can snap. Wow, that was quick. All right, I guess we'll see what we got here. So there was one there, and you notice it worked without even chum. What I was talking about is you see how long it took reeling, even with a half cast and that quick, with no tension. It finally popped up. It's going to be a small one. Just a bronze. If you max cast after a short period of time, that will go so far out that you can lose the fish. It'll say fish lost because it takes so long to get the tension up. So I put one of the rod holders out that way. I'll run over here and put the other one out this way. And then the last one in hand in the middle. And they will drift down the river. Now, you notice I didn't put chum out, so I want to give a shout out to Funky Monkey who tested this. I have used both chum and no chum strategies, and to be honest with you, I don't see any difference. It works just as well, if not better, without the chum. And you get so little chum with the hot dogs, perhaps it even causes more trouble than it's worth because you're going to get other fish. Oh, holy cow, we got both of them at the same time. So when this happens, what I do is check one, see what it looks like, because you can't get it in fast enough. That's a small one. So we're going to flip back out, and it'll probably bite back again. I cut it off, and let's go check this one. We know that wasn't a diamond. Maybe this one is. And look at how long it's taken to catch up. Nope, both little bronze. Possibly even juvenile. Yep, definitely bronze. A lot of times after cutting that one off, it might hit right back. This one hasn't, but it might. But we know it was small, so no big loss. Annoying mosquito. Yep, there it is. It just took a sec. Let's see. Exact same tension. Guarantee you that's the same crayfish. So when you run into the multi-bite like that, do what I did. You have 30 seconds, plenty of time. Check the first one that's closest to you. Cut it off if it's small. One of the diamonds you'll see in the montage, I had to do exactly that. And this one that I'm at right now was the first one. And it was more than half tension with this setup. So I was pretty sure it was a diamond. Not 100%, but pretty sure. I stuck with it and let the other one go away. And it was a diamond. So it was the right decision. You don't get that a ton with these. Now, there is confirmation that you can get them up here as well. This is the only other diamond spot where I have the muskie marker. I've never caught one up here. I've caught a ton of crayfish going for muskie. Never a diamond, but I haven't spent a ton of time trying it at night. This spot I know works well, so I strongly encourage you to stick to this spot. And it also has this nice convenient rock ledge you can use to run back and forth like I'm doing that makes it very easy. You can also do a single rig from the boat. I've done that in my original, one of my very first, I think it actually is my very first angler video, is Crayfish the day they came out. Before I could even do edits, or they added chum into the game or rod holders, so I thought I would do an upgrade to that video because I can do a much better job these days and talk about the additional features. And as you can see, you can cover a much wider ground with the rod holders. Now again, because of that drift, if I don't get a bite after a little while like we just did there, let's look where this one is, and you see it's drifted all the way over here. So we're just going to reset that again, put it back out there, open the bail, look to see if it snaps back. Same thing with this one. And go back to the in-hand. I keep doing this. I find they pretty much die out about 4 a.m. If you want to try longer, by all means. I just found it to be a waste of time after that. That bite rate seems to just drop off the cliff. Nothing more to this one if you want to use hot dogs. So if I go without bite for a while, then I'll toss out a chum just with hand in the middle. Let's see if it makes any difference. So I tested this a lot. Sometimes it did, sometimes it doesn't, but you noticed we got double bites without putting any chum in at all. I agree with Funky. It's not worth the trouble. So I appreciate his tip on that one. He tested it before I did. I certainly fished them back when they first came out, but when we didn't have rod holders. So it made a little more sense to me. But with the ability to put 3 rigs out, I don't think we're helping ourselves with the chum. And you see it didn't make any difference there. I'm not even 100% sure that they really respond to it. It may just trigger spawns of a bunch of unwanted fish that also like hot dogs. You may also see we're only at 1819. See a significant increase after 1900 and much more so after 2000. So in the 18 to 1900, you saw we had a pretty good bite rate, but that's not always a guarantee by any means. Expect it to pick up a little later on. Stay with the video to watch the diamonds I caught in the big fish montage. Happy fishing. Have a good one. Please click on the logo bottom left to subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content and don't forget to hit the like button on the video.